Hello. Did you know that winning sweepstakes is like going to the gym? And you must be thinking, what the heck is she talking about? Well, it's consistency over time equals results. And that's when you start winning. Let me go into this further and why people that enter consistently win consistently. And I'm not the only sweepstakes teacher to talk about this, but it's just common sense. There's some things that take time, right? If you want to save a lot of money, it's easier to put a little bit away each week, let it compound and make interest over time. And there's financial advisors that will show you info sheets. Like if you start at 18 and put away $25 a week, and if you start at 30 and put away $25 a week, and when you start at 50 and put away, here's how much you're going to have, because it's the amount of time with the interest, and it grows exponentially. If you want to lose weight, you're not going to start eating healthfully and lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds in a day. It's, a pound a week over 20 weeks, a year, slowly but surely you make progress that's steady. And for sure, oops, forgot to turn the volume off on my phone. There we go. No sweepstake companies will be calling at this hour, so I don't have to worry about that. Just a tip, if you're entering sweepstakes on a consistent basis and you get a phone call and you don't recognize the number, answer it, because you could be a winner. And sometimes they don't leave messages. I try and answer every call that I can. And yeah, sometimes it's spam, but guess what? Then I just block the number. Anyway, and then going to the gym, you're not going to walk into the gym and expect to bench, 300 pounds or run practically a marathon on the treadmill. No, and it's March. How many of you still at the gym? That's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to get fit this year. Well, guess what? The people that are still at the gym on March 31st are probably going to reach their goal in 2025, because again, it's consistency over time equals results. So if you're entering consistently, you will win consistently. Now, we just had a sweepstakes masterclass last week, or was it the week before? I'm losing track of time. Actually, I think it was about 10 days ago. And one of the fellas that won had been on an 8-month dry spell. I have not heard of a dry spell this long. And he was using all the right tools. And so other successful sweepers were also in the class. So now we're all questioning him, trying to figure out why his dry spell has gone on so long, because everything seemed to be correct. We're like, we don't understand. You're doing all the right things. And then I thought about it. He's been sweepstaking a long, long time. I said, what email address are you using? He was using AOL. AOL is famous for blocking messages that relate to sweepstakes because it thinks they're spam, even if they're winning messages. We said, you immediately have to go to another email account. He said, well, I do have a Gmail account. We go, start using it from today. I must message him and see if next week, and see, because a lot of things end on the 31st today and you get notified after. So maybe the following week he'll have some updates. But we just said, stop. You have to start using a Gmail. And even I still get notified on Yahoo, but occasionally it can be glitchy. I'm starting to think I need to move over too. And Hotmail is terrible. So if you have a Hotmail or an AOL account, immediately stop using them for entering sweepstakes and get yourself a Gmail account just for entering sweepstakes. Oh, Caroline said she's our time traveler. It's already April Fool's Day in Australia. But no fooling here. We are giving you only winning tips. And it's also the consistency needs to be, because say, for example, a contest is open for 30 days and I enter every day, but you're busy and you can only enter on the weekends. So by the end of the month, you'll have 8 entries in and I'll have 30. Who has better odds of winning? Me. It doesn't mean that you can't win, because I've seen it. I've seen people with low odds win. It can happen. It's just more often than not, the person who has the 30 entries in is going to win. No, I've never heard anything bad about Gmail. If anybody else has heard something bad about Gmail, let me know. I know I've been blocked a couple of times from entering with my Yahoo address. And Yahoo came out with another service called My Yahoo. So I have a myyahoo.com address, which I'm thinking that one was a mistake. I don't really like it. And I have a wonky Gmail account, but it's got my year of birth in it. And I also don't want that in the email, because I think there's a bit of ageism in the sweepstakes agency world. And it's all about statistics. And so I don't want to use that one. I might have to do another one. I don't know. I have to decide what I want to do. But right now, everything's on the Yahoo still, and I still get winning notifications. So we'll see. We'll see what I do. Anyway, does anybody have any sweepstakes questions? But I want to, again, talk more about the consistency. So there's a couple things that you should be doing to maintain that consistency, right? One is to enter every day if possible. Okay. And then the second key is to be organized, right? One of the things I figured out when I started entering is the more organized I was, the more I could enter in a shorter amount of time, because that's the key, right? The key to win, one of the keys to the sweet hobby is to enter the greatest number of sweepstakes you can in the shortest amount of time. And the average sweeper spends an hour or so entering a day, right? And I'm finding, and I've heard this from other sweepstakers, as they get older, they're getting pickier on what they enter. Oh, this is interesting. If I signed up for social media with Yahoo, is it easy to switch the social media to Gmail? Yeah, because I think you can go into your account and change your email. But that's not the concern. The concern isn't to logging into your social media. It's receiving the notification. So what happens is people say, well, check your spam folder. But the problem is companies like AOL and Hotmail, if they see the word like sweepstakes, they think instantly it's a scam. So it's blocked at the server. It doesn't even make it to your spam or to your inbox. If a contest is 1 entry per person per email, it's okay if I enter my husband and my husband enters right after me on the same laptop. Same IP, 2 emails, 2 separate people. Absolutely. I do it all the time. I enter and George enters. Both of us. It's fine. Because you're following the rules. They don't actually care about what they're looking for is people that are putting in multiple entries. Right? That's what they're looking for. They're just making sure nobody's cheating. If you're following the rules, that's all that matters. You're just increasing your odds of winning. Because your husband is in and you are in. So some of the sweepstakes that I've entered for both of us, it was George that won. But I consider it my win because I did the work. Just saying. Right? I did the push-ups, so I count the glory, even though his name is on the title. You know? He won, but I did all the work. And that's okay, because we both enjoy the prize, right? Like when we went to Kingston, it was his name that won, but We both went. We both had a good time. Besides freezing, what was that? Minus 20. That shouldn't be a temperature. Okay, now I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so when you go consistency, so what you should have is a system. So when I started, I was just entering willy-nilly. And I was getting mixed up, and I didn't know when I should go back to enter daily, and I couldn't remember. So I started making bookmarks so I would remember to go back. But when I started, companies were terrible at pulling down their giveaways or whatnot if it was finished. And the problem with that is that I would still be entering because the entry page would still be up. The contest is already closed. Now companies are better, but I'm just saying, who knows? That still might occur. We don't know. Marcus, beginner tips. Yeah, I'm actually giving you some right now. So what you want to, then I went to saving in my browser, but with the end date of the sweepstakes. So now it's getting smarter. And then I had a very old, painful laptop, and I started entering on, I got a new computer, and that's when I added RoboForm. So I moved my browser system over to RoboForm, but you can use your browser or RoboForm. It doesn't matter. The key is to be organized. You're going to have one folder that's marked like instance or now or something. You're going to call it something. And those are, I put in there where they're giving away a prize a day. That's especially important during sweepstakes season in December. Or they have an instant prize component to them. So I could go and I could scratch, or I could, click or spin the wheel or whatever, and I can win a prize right now. I could win a prize right now. That's the importance of that. Okay. Then I have a folder for, I call it my top 10, even though there's more than 10 in there. But that to me means prizes I really want to win. So you can call it whatever you want. But those are the ones that if you only had 10 minutes to enter today, those are the ones you want to enter for, because those are the big prizes, the things you really want to win. So for me, it's always like trips and cash, and occasionally a car if I see a car giveaway. But the big one is always trips. Now you, for example, may want a kitchen makeover. So you're going to put every appliance contest in there and every home renovating, anything to do with home renovating, small appliances, big appliances, cash, gift cards, anything. You're going to put everything in there. Or if, whatever your top 10 is, whatever you really, really, really want to win, right? That's what you're going to put in that folder. Then you're going to have a folder marked daily, and that's for everything else that you should be entering once a day. But if you're too busy that day, you're not too pained because you're not winning the swag bag with another t-shirt and another hat from this company, right? But you'd still think it would be fun to win. Okay. So that's what you're entering there. And then you have weeklies. Now, this one is important because it's going to hold two things: the contests and sweepstakes that you can only enter once a week. So they're at the top. And I'll tell you how they're at the top in a minute. And then the rest of the list is all your local media. All your local media. So I have in there every single radio station and all the television shows and stations and whatever magazines are left, and some very specific social media accounts that I know hold giveaways on a weekly basis in there. So every Monday I go through the list and I enter all of them, and I look at every radio station. What contests are new? What call-ins am I listening for? What texting am I supposed to do? This kind of thing. That's what's on that list. And I win a lot of locals that way. And that's important because there's going to be less people entering because it's only a certain radius of people that will potentially enter the giveaway. So my odds of winning have increased. So that's why you want to have your list. And then on my phone, right? Then on my phone here, I want to show you guys. Here, I have the apps. Silly thing. Okay, I have a little folder called Fun and Games, and I have Wordle in there, and I have Ticketmaster in there. Because, if I win concert tickets, they usually send them to your Ticketmaster account, and you have to be able to get into the show. But I also have Argos, Maple Leafs, and Raptors. So find the apps for all your local station, all your teams, because if I'm going to enter, like, for example, the Toronto Maple Leafs, because I'm in, right? Scratch to unlock your chance to win tickets right here. Look, it's giving me a chance. I'm trying to do this without, right? Okay, when's it going to open up? There. Enter now, right? Okay, so this is for Scotiabank clients. I am not a Scotiabank client. Do I need... No, I don't have to be a client, but I will get extra entries if I do all these things. But I could still enter. But I'm not going to do that right now. But see, if I go here under view all for offers, right? VIP road trips, enter to win tickets to the fan deck, score your Leafs Nation headquarters for my chance to win big. Then there's a bonus if I eat at somewhere. And then there's contests. I can sit in the Scotties box. I could train like an athlete. I could win a trip to Ireland. The pucks, now there's games that you play, and then you get entries into giveaways. So these are the most interesting seats in the house. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And there's a Leafs lore. You could win jerseys. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 giveaways in the app. That's just the app. So you need to be checking every day on the apps, right? There's 11 on that one. And then Raptors is similar. So, there's a ton right on my phone. So if you've got a commute or anything and you're sitting somewhere, you can be entering those types of giveaways on your phone while you're in transit or waiting in an office or if you've got any downtime, you're standing in line somewhere, you can be doing any of the giveaways on your phone. That's the other good time to do the giveaways, the Instagram ones, right? So here's my personal entry one. And because I enter so much, right? Because I enter so much, my whole feed is just giveaway after giveaway after giveaway after giveaway. So I tend to enter those when I have downtime too. I enter social media giveaways last. Okay, so I hope that answers your question for Medium. Now, one of the things that I do is I always add the end date to every sweepstakes. Now, to keep them in order, computers are binary, ones and zeros, right? We like to write the dates like with the month and the day and the year, or the day and the month and the year, depending on where you live. But to keep them in order for the computer, you want to put year, then month, then day, and then the name of the sweepstakes or the prize, or you can name it whatever you want. And that way, the computer will put them in order with the one that's ending the soonest at the top. So then as you enter, so what you should do every day is you go through your list of current giveaways and you enter them all. And then you go to your favorite sweepstakes site or contest aggregate, whatever, or your news, your giveaway newsletter. and you find all the new giveaways and you enter them and you add them into your system. Because if you go and find all those giveaways first and add them into your system, you're not going to remember what you just added and what you hadn't entered today. So go and enter all your dailies first, or weeklies if it's a Monday like today, weeklies and dailies. Some people like to do their weeklies on a Sunday when they have more time. There's no perfect way to do this. It's whatever your schedule is. I personally prefer Sunday or Monday just because a lot of companies add, like radio stations, add their new giveaways. And by Friday, you might have missed like 4 or 5 chances to call in to win or enter on their online giveaway if you didn't enter at the beginning of the week. That's the only reason I suggest Sunday or Monday, but there's no right or wrong here. This is a hobby and it's supposed to be fun. So what you're going to want to do is go through those, right? And so Sunday or Monday, it's going to be a little longer because not only are you doing your dailies, you're doing your weeklies. Then you're going to go and you're going to add in any new sweepstakes you find and get those entries in. And then you're going to delete anything. So this is the last day of the month. A lot of people call this delete day because a lot of sweepstakes end on the 30, or well, I was going to say, it should be the last day of every month because some months have 30 and one has 28 or 29. And then the rest have 31. So whatever the last day of the month is, that tends to be a popular day. Also, the last Friday of a month tends to be a popular cutoff date because then companies will come back in the next week and that's when they'll do all their drawings, right? So that's why you want to allocate that time to do that. So then when you're going through this process every day, I always equated it to the sales funnel. Oh, Lori says, I did my dailies and deleted the RoboForm and bookmarks. Yep. So that's actually what she does today. Like I said, it was delete day. Now, sweepstakes is like this. I always equate sweepstakes to the sales funnel. Can you tell I graduated with a business degree in marketing? Because this is what it is, right? You put a lot in at the top, and then you get a couple out at the bottom. But as long as you're feeding stuff in at the top, stuff is always going to come out the bottom. If you stop or only put in a little, what's coming out of the bottom is always going to be equivalent. Now, there have been lucky instances. I have a YouTube interview with the girl, the ladies I called the Sweepstakes sisters or the Sweepy sisters, because Angela kept bugging her sister, whose name escapes me at this moment, to come and enter a giveaway. This was, I think, was it the 90s? She kept bugging her sister, you got to come and enter. You got to come and enter. Her sister's like, oh, finally. So she did it for her sister. It was a mail-in. And on her first sweepstakes, she won a trip in a car. She went to Daytona and picked up this race car. It was I think was it like a Camaro type car? And then it was all deckled up so she won this car at the race. Like, that is really rare, but you never know. You never know. So why don't you get those entries in? Ooh, Caroline, you must have had a crazy day. 12 hours entering competitions yesterday, last day of the month. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you're already in April. Caroline, if you haven't figured out, lives in Australia. She calls them competitions. Same hobby, different lingo. And I hope you win big, Caroline. I hope you win big from that. I've had days, I've never entered for 12. I do remember the occasional Sunday sitting in the dining room with my laptop and pot after pot of tea as I entered like 1 bazillion sweepstakes for hours all afternoon. But I think the longest I've ever spent is 4 or 5 hours. Oh yeah. So Lori has a tip. One of the things, she mentioned this when we had our sweepstakes masterclass and we were trying to figure out why this poor fellow wasn't winning. I'm lazy. So I just use one browser. I use Chrome and I use my profile because you know how you can have different Google Chrome profiles. And I have George's sweepstakes email on my computer because I don't trust him to check. I check to make sure we don't miss anything. And so I could switch to his profile and have everything bookmarked for him over there. And so my profile would be me. And so Lori made that suggestion. Oops, nope, I clicked on the wrong suggestion. So first we'll come back to that amazing notification. So she just won, and then she changes to her husband's profile. Oh, and turn on a VPN. I forgot you mentioned that. So that would change your IP address. And it could work for any country, right? Because every country usually has multiple cities. So I could do, Toronto for me and Winnipeg for George or something. It might be a little weird, though, because I guess the VPN doesn't matter. But you could try that. And then, oh, wait, back. Thanks. I did stop when my phone went off, and you won a $100 supermarket gift card. Now I need one of those buttons that goes, yay, yay. There's probably sound effects somewhere on my computer. I don't know where they are. I'm not that sophisticated a live streamer. I think I actually can put sounds and stuff in here in the present section. I'm going to try and look for those sound effects and see if I can't put them on here, because that would be fun if somebody announces a win and I go, like a huge crowd cheering in the background. Oh, Susan's worried that they won't bounce back or get cancel entries on the back end. I can tell you from working at agencies, they don't care that much. They just make sure that nobody cheats, like you didn't send in. I've had some agency directors call me and say, do you know this particular name as a sweeper? Because I know a lot of people in the community. And I go, never heard of them. And they go, yeah, we just deleted 20,000 entries from our giveaway. This person was trying to cheat. They thought they were so clever. It's called a dedupe, right? It stands for delete duplicates in the marketing world. And they just do a dedupe and delete all the extra entries, or eliminate you completely because they don't like your cheating and you're out of the draw completely. So depending on the rules, they'll take you down to one entry or eliminate them all, which is usually the case. So, yeah, but if you're following the rules and you entered once for you and then once for your husband, and they go through, a lot of them aren't looking at IPs. They're not looking. People just want to do a draw and verify the person and send out the prize, and then tell the agency wants to go back and tell their client, yes, this was a successful sweepstakes. We had many happy people. We had, this many sign up to your newsletter, and then send them the data. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're not going to be scrounging. If they see something suspicious, then they will start digging. But if you're following the rules, they don't care. They don't have time. They just want to make sure you're a real person who's, followed the rules, that's genuine. That's it. Yeah, exactly, Lori. If the rules say one per person, you should be able to enter for each person that has their own email address and name. Yep. I enter me, and then I enter George. And I save 2 different profiles in the browser because Lori and I both use RoboForm. We've both been using RoboForm forever. I have been using it for 22 years. I know people have been using it longer, but the computer I had was so jinky that I knew if I loaded it on at the time, my computer would crash. So I didn't. And it was only when I got a new computer in 2003, and then I loaded it on. It was like, I could enter so quickly. I was so happy. Cynthia has good advice. Never sign up for the newsletters. I do when it states I get bonus entries. And then I wait a while. I don't know, usually, and then I unsubscribe. But I always sign up for the newsletters if I get bonus entries. But just for subscribing, no. Now, there are some companies that I have subscribed to that I've stayed subscribed to because I know they have frequent giveaways and I want to be notified of those giveaways. Or it's a place I also shop and they have deals all the time. Then I subscribe to them. Other than that, no. So my contest email also has all my online memberships and loyalty clubs and things like that. That way it keeps it separate from my work. And I have 3 work emails. Well, 4 technically if you count my Gmail, because my Gmail is what runs my YouTube. And you better believe I have an encrypted password and double authentication on that. I've heard too many stories about people getting their Gmail hacked. It'd be very difficult for mine. They go after easy targets. Everything I have has 2-factor and encrypted passwords when it comes to my business and my personal finances, like your banking. Like, you should always have encrypted passwords. That's one of the reasons I do like RoboForm. And wait. Lori said, Cindy, did you get your recent win? What recent win? Cindy, post in the comments. What did I miss? What did you get? This sounds exciting. I love it when sweepers chat. And if you want to hang out with fellow sweepers, by the way, I host a virtual contest club meeting approximately every 2 weeks. And there's one this Friday. And if you're watching this on demand and you think, well, I'm not free this Friday. Well, it might not actually be this Friday for you. It might have passed. So go to my events calendar, which is always kept up to date, and see when the next virtual contest club meeting is, and click on it and go sign up, and we'll see you there. Because that would be fun. So basically, it's like me times 8, 9, 12, 15. I don't know. It depends. We've had meetings with 3 people and we've had meetings with 20 people. It varies. So it's always somewhere in between and we have a good time. What we do is it's casual, it's fun, and we laugh a lot. So we talk about what we've won recently, any sweepstakes struggles. If somebody new has joined us, they have sweepstakes questions. We all take turns answering them. We tease each other a lot. We laugh a heck of a lot. We tell stories about what's going on in our lives. You know, we talk about different things. Oh, Real Food Munchie says, and 25% in the Name It and Claim It game. One of my favorite books, I might add. It changed my life because I met Helene because of that book. And then she asked me to maintain her legacy, which we've got to have a soul contract there. I know I'm dipping into the woo-woo terry of my words for winning, but I know it's a little hard to keep them apart because really sweepstakes and positive thinking go hand in hand, because you can't think, well, I'm never going to win and then win. Like it doesn't work that way. Everybody who wins, like everybody in this thread, like if you go look at the comments and the conversation thread on this video, you will notice that every single person in the chat is a positive person. And I was actually just talking about this book today, The Luck Factor, because Richard Wiseman did studies on people's thinking, and the people that tended to have positive thoughts saw opportunities, and the people who didn't missed all the opportunities, which then enhanced their negative experiences. So you want to turn what they call that reticular activator on for positive events. I should have bookmarked some of the stories. I wonder if I could find one really quick. But here's what he breaks it down to. He breaks it down into 4 principles with principles each. So He did. And I think I had somebody ask today, it is on Audible, sadly not narrated by Richard Wiseman. But if you have credits in Audible and don't have time to read, or you find it easier to listen while you drive and run errands and putter around the house, I highly recommend this book. I get no credit for that. I didn't write it, but I love it. So he writes the initial research, the power of luck and lucky and unlucky lives. Key. Part 2 is the 4 principles of luck. Principle 1, maximize your chance opportunities. Principle 2, listen to your lucky hunches. Principle 3, expect good fortune. Right? Expect good fortune. We could change that to expect to win sweepstakes. And principle 4, turn your bad luck into good. So let me just go to page 96 really quick. Oh, and I buy books secondhand. Check out this bookmark. I love buying secondhand books. I think this was thrift books. I always like to shop there. And then I have a list. Sorry, 99. I lost my train of thought. So I can't read an entire book because that's copyright infringement, and it's basically turning it into an audiobook, which I wouldn't want somebody to do, but I will highlight some points, which maybe it'll encourage you to go get it. Also, there is a free PDF out there on the Luck Factor. Maybe I'll go see if I can find the link to it. Actually, I think it's under Attracting Luck on my website already. I'll have to, we're going to be updating the website this year, so I'm going to have to re-go and check all the links. But the principle is lucky people's expectations about the future help them fulfill their dreams and ambitions. Right? My research revealed that lucky people's dreams and ambitions often became a reality, whilst unlucky people rarely obtain what they want from life. Okay? Right there. And then let me just see what some of his research says. My research revealed that lucky people do not achieve their dreams and ambitions purely by chance, nor does fate conspire to prevent unlucky people from obtaining what they want. Instead, lucky and unlucky people achieve or fail to achieve their ambitions because of a fundamental difference in how they think about themselves and their lives. So sub-principle number 1 is lucky people expect good fortune to continue in the future. Did I win today? No. Do I expect to win tomorrow? Absolutely. I was in to win $4,900 and about 10 cents of concert tickets. I did not win. And the fella, I could have reached through I was listening streaming on my phone. I could have reached through the internet. I wanted to smack this guy. So this contest was called POS. You figure out what it stands for. And you qualified for that week. And then on Monday, they had 15 qualifiers, and they would call somebody on Monday and they would offer them concert tickets and money. And they could take the first one, or they could see what the second one offered. And they would offer them a different set of concert tickets and a different amount of money. And if they took it, everybody that week was wiped out for the grand prize draw, but they got a prize. The second week, I qualified, and a fella and his wife qualified. They called him, and he said, no, we're going in for the grand prize draw. So I was in the grand prize draw. I missed listening to the person the next week. I didn't know what they picked. It turns out they said, I'm going to go for the grand prize draw. We listened this morning. This was the last week. This guy was offered an okay set of tickets and $300. And he's like, no, I'll hear what the second one is. He was offered Oasis tickets and $800 cash. And he said, no, I want to be in the grand prize draw. So he went from having over $1,000 prize in his hand to being one of 45 people in the draw. And I went, he's not winning. I knew immediately he made a huge mistake. He should have taken it. Because honestly, I would have been in the draw. My initial response for the week that I was in was, it was 1 week and the other person was like that. I said I would go for being in the draw too. But if I had gotten selected at the end and I knew there'd be 44 other people against me, no way I would take that concert ticket. I would have taken those concert tickets. I would like to hear your thought of should he have taken the Oasis tickets? And should he have taken the Oasis tickets and the $800, or should he have gone in the grand prize draw? I think he should have taken the tickets. I said to George, as soon as we heard it, I said, oh, he made a huge mistake. He should have taken it because he had the tickets in his hand. In his hand, he had them. He could have gone to the show. Like, it was a guaranteed prize. And he turned it down. Ooh. Yeah, Caroline says that's just a 2% chance of winning. I know, right? And he had won if he wanted to. Andrea says she just won 2 VIP tickets to a music festival today. Whoa! Wow! I call those biggies. That is a biggie. Congratulations. I do need to find a like woohoo sound. Oh, Bill won a prize today. What is happening? Usually everybody wins tomorrow because the last day of the month, everybody starts drawing the next day. 2 concert tickets to Leon and Friends, a tribute band for Chicago. Ooh, that's going to be good. They also cover Earth, Wind, and Fire. Concerts Friday night in Pensacola. Found it doing a local sweep. Local sweepstakes are good. And wow, that's going to be fantastic. Honestly, if I lived near you, I'd be bugging you to be a +1 because that sounds like fun. Yes, hello. That's what I said. Bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. So to me, I wonder when he made a choice like that, is he always unlucky? And now he's like, well, see, I never win. But he had one. You know, sometimes I wonder if people's psychology block them from, right? So that's sub-principle number 1. Let me find you sub-principle number 2, because it's a lot of technical stuff. Like, he's got graphs and everything. Lucky people attempt to achieve their goals, even if the chances of success seem slim, and persevere in the face of failure. Yeah, I lose far more in giveaways than I win. Far more. But do I look at that? Do I count that? No. What do I count? What I won. Babe Ruth. What is he known for? The greatest batter of all time. What was his batting average? Isn't it like 300? Doesn't that mean he misses 700, but he hits 300 out of 1,000? So he loses 700 times, but he's still known as the greatest batter. So you only remember the good? Same as sweepstakes. Oh. Jared, $25 to McDonald's and concert tickets to Andrea Bocelli. Oh, that Andrea Bocelli is going to be amazing. What about scratch off money wins? I have not won large on scratchers. I've won I think the most I've won is did I win $100? Yeah, I think I've won $100 on a scratcher, but that's the most I've won on a scratcher. I haven't won anything bigger than $100, but I won't complain about $100 on a scratcher. Principle number 3, I think there's 4 per sub-principle. Lucky people expect their interactions with others to be lucky and successful. Hello. Have you met me? German proverb. No one is luckier than him who believes in his luck. That is so true. And then sub-principle number 4. Is there? Oh, no, there's only 3 per chapter. And principle number 4, turn your bad luck into good. So it's, yeah, so there's what's in this book is you hold the key to creating your luck. No surprise there. There are 4 simple behavioral techniques that are scientifically proven to help you attract good fortune. And you can use these principles to revolutionize every area of your life, including your relationships, personal finances, and career. But basically, you have to think you're lucky before you are. Oh, thanks, Caroline. She looked it up for me. Look, he had a batting average of 342. Right? I'd love to win a cottage, but those tickets are expensive. Does anyone personally know anyone who won? I do, sort of. One of my sweeping friends, her coworker's daughter won the house one year way back in the day. And they lived in Ottawa, but you had to be an Ontario resident, and they won it. So that's the closest I ever got. Yeah, so don't go buying tickets that aren't in your budget. But you can also pool. There's also pools. But then you'd have to share the cottage. You have to have an agreement. Oh, important. If you go into any lottery with anybody or buy a ticket with somebody, always make sure you have an agreement in advance. Like, it's easy if it's cash, right? We both buy a ticket together. We win $1 million. We get 500,000 each. No brainer, right? Oh, see, my friend's daughter won a trip to Ireland today. Yeah, I know a cottage you can win. Cottage cheese. Oh, Bill. See, this is the kind of teasing we do in the contest club meeting. Oh, my friends say I'm lucky. I say I'm persistent. I would say both. Right? You make your own luck. And it is luck of the draw. Like, you can't control the draws, right? You don't know which one you're going to win. You know you're going to win. You just don't know which one you're going to win. So I personally think it's a little bit of both. But yeah, that's why it's interesting. This is why consistency is key. To be entering as many times as you can, but you just never know, if your name's going to be picked. Oh, Jared says he's persistent and determined. Where did that go? There. Yeah. Persistent. Oh, yes. Bill says he ran a lottery pool at work, and at the end of last week, I have everyone sign an agreement. Yeah. Our local lottery actually has a section on their website for playing groups. And there's like a legal document in there to say you're all agreeing, and you have to sign it, and you have to mark that you collected money from this person, because it stops a lot of the fights. Because, especially the office pool, you missed work that week, and you didn't put in your $10, and they win the lottery. How are you going to feel going to work the next week? You got to make sure that you're in for it or something. So it's important to make sure the group play, but it's easy when it's cash. But if you're entering the home lottery and there's thousands of prizes and you win, the house, how are you going to just one person want to buy the other one out? Are you going to sell it? Are you taking some of the furniture that's in the house with you before you sell it? Like, what are you doing? You guys have to talk it all out. There's been lawsuits in Canada over prizes. The big ones have been Roll Up the Rim to Win, where there's been stories of people buying the office coffee. Somebody else's cup wins. They go, hey, that's my truck. And they go, no, that's my coffee. And they go, yeah, but I bought the coffee. Well, that's not what you said. So it causes problems, right? There was one teacher, this famous lawsuit, you can Google it. Teacher threw away one of the cups, didn't roll. A couple of girls saw the cup in the garbage, took it out. A girl saw it in the garbage. She took it out. She couldn't roll it. Her friend helped her roll it. It won a van. So the parents, they went home. The parents said they were going to do it. Then once they were going to get it and sell it and split the money. Then one said they wanted the van. So then Tim Horton said, okay, you know what? We're going to hold the prize. When you guys figure it out, the prize is there. So then one family sued the other family. Then the teacher sued because it was originally their cup. And the judge ruled, okay, first of all, you threw away the cup. That's your problem. You're out. And I can't remember what the settlement was. It was a long time ago. They moved away in COVID to an app. So then it's on your account. So then it's going to eliminate all issues, right? But this year they went back to doing the cups because everyone was complaining, we want the cups, we want the cups. So they did both cups and online, and the odds on the cups were worse than online. So you're better off winning online. And if you brought in your own cup, you would get 2 rolls online. Because, some people they prefer to use, for environmental reasons, they prefer to use their own cup. So they would give you 2 rolls, so you had 2 chances to win. So that's what's happening there. And speaking of chances to win, have you entered the giveaway? Because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how can I win from you? Well, there's always 2 chances to win from me every month. One is right here. So if you go down in the description, you can enter to win a book of your choice, and in any format and in any language that I currently have available. And some things aren't available in some countries, as I have so discovered. But you can win any one of my books in print or ebook, and translated, because so far I have 3 in Spanish. I'm working on my 4th. And I have 4 Audible books, working on my 5th. So that's what you have your choice. I let people pick. And so, Bobby Joe said they ran out of cups so early. Interesting. They had them right up to the last day at my coffee shop. And the second last day, they had 1 size left near my mom's. So I don't know. But on the cups, I only won a donut. And George won like 3 coffees and a donut off the cups. And I won 150 points on the contest, and I think like 7 coffees and a donut. Oh, and a discount on Rakuten or something. And I'm like, why do they include those? Because discounts are on discounts aren't prizes. It's like I did a whole blog post called Coupons Aren't Prizes. Now, a coupon, and I should have clarified that, because a coupon for a free product is a prize. So if I get a coupon for a free ice cream or a free pizza or free whatever, that is a prize. They're not going to mail me the pizza. They're going to send me the coupon and I go get my own pizza or ice cream or whatever, coffee. But if you send me saying, congratulations, you won, here's 20% off, that is not a prize. That is what you do as a marketing expert after the fact and say, hey, thanks for entering our giveaway. Sorry you didn't win this one. Please subscribe to our newsletter, as we are going to have more giveaways. And by the way, we also appreciate you entering. Here's a 20% off coupon for your next purchase of, whatever. That's how coupons should be used in conjunction with a contest, not as a prize. It should be as an incentive to generate sales after the fact. I don't mind actually when companies do that. I think it's smart marketing, because so many of them don't even follow up after the giveaway. I think it's smart when they follow up after the giveaway, because what you want is something in marketing that they call top of mind awareness, right? If I say to you, tissues, what's the first brand that pops into your head? If I say toothpaste, what's the first brand that pops into your head? Right? If I say ice cream, what's the first brand that pops into your head? That is top of mind awareness. Companies spend billions of dollars for that slot. They shouldn't be doing anything to jeopardize that slot. Right? And you don't want to be further down on somebody's list. That's one of the reasons companies have these giveaways. So that's the other reason I tell people that you won't get spammed from these companies, because they have spent a lot of money trying to get your data. They are not going to spam you. Now, some of the sweepstakes you have to be wary of. During one of the sweepstakes classes, I had somebody ask me about one of the magazine giveaways. And they said they have a lot. So I went and looked and I said, yeah, these are legit. You can enter these. But I said, hang on. And I went and looked at the fine print, and yes, they will happily sell your information to third parties as part of the entry. And I went, no. You want to enter ones that they are spending money to keep your data, to woo you to buy their brand of cheese, their brand of cola, their fast food, their bread, their whatever. That's what you want to do. And when you start entering sweepstakes, that's the other benefit of entering sweepstakes on a regular basis. You start to see these patterns. You start to see the patterns of pricing. You start to see the patterns of rules. You start to see the patterns of giveaways and what is popular. And there's it's like an ebb and a flow to it. Like right now, it's April 1st. You're going to start seeing all the Mother's Day giveaways soon. Depending, there's going to be a ton of Easter giveaways. You're going to see all the chocolate ones come out. You're going to start to see, if you haven't already, all the baseball ones. Believe it or not, in Canada, we still have hockey ones because hockey doesn't seem to end until the end of June. We just finished March Madness, or I'm not sure if it's 100% done yet. There's been basketball giveaways. You're going to start to see the barbecue giveaways soon, and then Father's Day, and then 4th of July, and then back to school, and then all the football ones. Right? You can almost predict. And then once the football ones start, you're going to start seeing the Super Bowl ones. Like there's a path, right? When you follow the system of giveaways. And then of course, December, I call it sweepstakes season because every company that you can possibly think of is hosting a giveaway that is, a lot of them are doing 12 days of giveaways, 24 days of giveaways, one for every day of the entire month, just a holiday giveaway, the advent calendar giveaways. There's so many, and they have prizes every day, a lot of them. So it's crazy because you do want to get in every day. So actually, this is a good time of year to start the hobby because you're going to have your winning muscles going by the time December hits. I did meet someone who started entering sweepstakes in December, and I'm like, what have you done? You didn't just jump into the deep end of the pool. You went to the high diving board and just jumped in. Yeah, marketers are certainly aware of patterns and trends 100%. And so that's where my little business and marketing brain goes, right? I see those patterns. And I think that's why I was attracted to sweepstakes because it's fun, it's free, it's part of marketing. Yeah, December is insane. That's pretty much the only way to describe December. Like January, when they plummet, it feels like a relief. Anyway, the other thing that you can win from me, I've been talking for almost an hour. I'm getting dry. And I did a live stream today on TikTok for an hour and a half on my other channel that I'm uploading to YouTube because I hadn't been there in a while. I usually cook and do a TikTok because it's a good time to do a live TikTok. And that's fun. But the other place you can win from me is on the 2nd of every month. I host a sweepstakes masterclass giveaway. And then I give away 25 tickets and people come. And I think next month I set it up already. It is on, I will tell you what day I picked. I can't remember. March. Oh, I need to go to April for that, don't I? Sweepstakes Masterclass is going to be April. No, that's March 25th. April. I put it in here. Oh, I decided that it was going to be on a Saturday this time because this way, some people that can't come during the week can come on the weekend. So you may be more incentivized to enter this time because it's going to be 2 p.m. on a Saturday, which I know doesn't interfere with Lori's group every Sunday. In January, when I was traveling for 2 months, I had to have one of my club meetings on the Sunday, and some people couldn't come because they were at Lori's virtual contest club meeting. which she hosts every Sunday. And it was overlapping. And some people said it's overlapping. And I said, I know, but I have very limited days. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, thanks, Bill, for posting the events. However, I don't put the Sweepstakes Masterclass on there, though. It's just going to be under CQ giveaways. It doesn't get posted till the 2nd, so you won't see it till Wednesday. And then if you want to see, basically, I pretty much copy and paste for every month. So if you want to see what March's was like, you can go and look and get yourself prepared for what you're going to enter for in 2 days. And if you're listening to this after March 31st, go check, because I do this every month. So it could be 6 months from now and you could go and look and there could be another one running, because I host a giveaway on the live stream for a week. And then the 2nd of every month, I host another giveaway. So there's always opportunities, and I always host giveaways when I write a new book. So I just had one last month on the Audible edition of Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage. So I'm also always giving away something, So just stay tuned for that. Oh, thanks, Bill. I also have CQ giveaways. Someone said, what does CQ stand for? I go, Contest Queen. They're my giveaways. So that's what I'm posting. It's kind of funny. But that's a wrap for this month. And if you have any sweepstakes questions, write them down, send them to me. I usually answer back. I save them sometimes for the next sweepstakes Q&A. I didn't this month because I've got a lot of balls in the air. And try to win that sweepstakes masterclass, because not everyone shows up. So sometimes there's only been like 10 people there. It's like a private class. And I think that's it for this month. So of course, I'm going to ask you to do all the things: like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, sign up for my newsletter, because the Winning Edge, I send out all my notifications there. So you'll get your notifications of the virtual classes. I host classes only 3 times a year, so you're not bugged very much. I have a newsletter going out twice a month. And sometimes if I'm busy, I forgot. Like, I realized on March 19th, I didn't send the newsletter out on the 15th. I realized it like 4 or 5 days later. So in March, there was only one newsletter. I do not bombard you with things. I'm trying to get in the habit of pre-writing them so that they auto go out. And then goals will be to hire a virtual assistant so that they're like the formats are there. And then I just go write the newsletter part. Those are goals. And yeah, hit those thumbs up. Thanks, Bill. Oh, thanks. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just come when you can't. Well, that's the nice thing about having the club meetings all the time, is if you can't come to one, you come to another. Right? And I try to move the dates around so that somebody that maybe works on a Monday night can come to a Tuesday meeting or a Sunday afternoon meeting, or, so I try and be fair. They're scheduled till the end of June. And I'm waiting to get closer to the summer, because I will be traveling in the summer, because I'm going to the annual National Sweepstakes Convention. But I still haven't finalized my date because I'm meeting some other people. So I will hopefully see you there. And if not, I can see you online, because that's the beauty of having a Zoom account. We can hang out right here in my office. I will talk to you later. Have a winning month.